Hi, good welcome to Christchurch. Sorry for the wind while we're just outside, but I wanted to just do this little video to introduce you to what we're going to expect when we come back into church this Sunday, the 6th of September. It's been over 5 months since we had a service of Sunday morning worship here, so we just thought I'd welcome you to that. If you're watching this, you'll be more than welcome. Let's go inside and we'll talk more about what's happening. So the doors will be open, but they won't be open until 11:15. All right. The service is going to start at 11:30. The service is not going to be too much more, about 30 minutes ish. It's very similar. It's certainly this Sunday is very similar format to what you've been used to when you've seen our online services, and we're going to sort of develop and take things from there. So these doors won't be open till 11:15. Unfortunately, no tea or coffee before the service at the moment. So don't be arriving too soon because you won't get in. All right, so come this way. You're welcome. There's going to be a team of 3 or 4 people that will help facilitate where you sit in and all this kind of stuff. As you can see, if you guidelines, I probably should or could be wearing my mask, okay? But the trouble is, you can't really hear me very well if I put this on. So I'm going to take it off again. I'll take it off again now because you can't hear me properly. But the guidelines are such that you probably should be wearing masks, certainly as you're coming in and sitting down. Whether you keep it on when you're sitting down, I'm not sure there's rules to say you've got to. That's going to be entirely up to you. There won't be any singing, so it's not like you've got to do that. But I'll talk about that later. But if you forget or you want to wear one of these, we do have some masks. We have hand sanitizer here, towels. The people that are welcoming you might well be wearing visor and as well as a mask or something, because obviously they're seeing a lot of people coming through, and we just want to be prudent, protocols, keep people safe basically, which is why we're trying to do this properly. The plates are here. There's for a retiring offering, so if you have envelopes you can put them in either on your way in or on your way out. All right, and we won't be bringing the offering up, okay? And as well as the you can see here at the moment, because when we had a wedding last week, so we made a list of names, but there'll be a different way of recording people's names, which I'll show you in a second. All right. So as you come in, we've got hand sanitizer, all the mod cons. All right. So you put your hand underneath it, and it distributes. And let me just say, okay, that this smells absolutely beautiful because we're using the Copeland Distillery hand sanitizer produced. So it smells like gin, but don't drink it. Okay. So anyway, so sanitize your hands, and with your mask on, pretend my mask is on, we come into church. Now as you look down here, you'll see that it's only every third pew. We've got 2 pews at a time that are roped off for distancing. All right. I guess if we were really pushed, we may be able to squeeze somebody in there, because that's not there. This back pew here, Matthew's going to still be doing the sound / screen, because there's no paper, they won't be using any books or anything, so everything you use, the Apostles' Creed, the confession, will be up on the screen, including hymn words. Even though you won't be singing, you can hum. So that back pew, I know there are some people that are used to sitting in it. That's for Matthew, and we'll probably put his wheelchair round by the font there so it's out of the way, because to create a bit of space so people can use the other pew there if they need to. If you look down here, you'll see the pews are numbered. That's because in each pew, each pew that we're using is going to be one of these slips, and this is the record of who's here. So what we're going to do is we're going to ask you to write the pew number on the slip. There'll be pens as well, and just put your details there. These are going to be kept then in an envelope. They're collected up after each service and put in an envelope, which will then be kept in the safe for a fortnight. At that point, it'll be destroyed, because for obviously keeping details, but this is just for track and trace and just to be appropriate. All right, so I hope please do that, and just so you know that that's to be filled in when you arrive. So there'll be those in each pew. Now the other thing we're going to be doing is to avoid people walking past each other more than they need to. We're going to be filling people in pews from the front backwards. So we need people to be understanding, gracious, and not so precious about where they sit. So if you come forward, there's nothing really to say too much in addition with regards to what's happening here in the middle. other than the fact that what we're going to do is we're going to fill up from the front. So this is the first pew on this side of the church. This is the first pew on this side of the church. Where we have couples, they're going to be going to the far end, and we're going to try and do it and spread it out so each couple comes in. If we have individuals, then they can sit at the other end of a coupled pew, if that makes sense. All right. Now, if there's 3s or 4s, then that's absolutely fine. It obviously just means that they take up that whole pew. And similarly, if there's a whole household, family bubble, if you like, then they can usually get away with 1 pew because they're all together anyway. That way, if we had only individuals, I think we would take about 30 people in here. But obviously where there's couples, 3s, 4s, family groups, then obviously that brings the numbers up slightly in terms of appropriate spacing. So I hope that's understandable, and I hope that makes sense. Please, it is going to be different. We're going to be separate from each other. I'm not going to be able to come down and hug you. Not that I did that much too often, but those kind of things are going to be different. But the point is, we're here together, gathered. And instead of me over the last 5 months talking to a camera lens, and I know I've seen a number of you, and I know I've spoken to pretty much all of you at some point over this period, but when I've been doing the services, all I've been seeing is a camera lens. You've seen me, but I've seen the lens. But so it's going to be really good to see some of you. But we want you to come back as and when you feel safe and appropriate. And the idea of this was just to help you to see what it is you're coming back to. So I hope that makes sense. If we go just slightly forward here, Philip. Philip's holding the camera for me, thank you very much. This will all be the same, but what you'll find is I'll be leading the service, but from up here, and I won't leave here. So I'm not going to be coming down at all. And this gives me that distance. Jim will be playing on this Sunday, for example. One of the hymns, we're going to have the words on the screen and you can hum along to Jim playing. I haven't asked him yet actually, but hopefully he said he would. So yeah, and the second hymn is one of the ones that Ruth is singing, so we'll have the video on the screen. So that's going to be this Sunday. And I'm afraid you do get a little sermon from me as well. But so this is the distance, so that I can get away without wearing a mask because I'm obviously quite a distance from the people at the front and stuff like that, and I'll be doing the reading, so we're not engaging lots of people in it at the moment. We obviously will take that step by step and see how it goes. We won't be doing communion at the moment either because it involves people coming up and being closer and it's got complicated, so we're just going to take it step by step. And then when you leave, I will stay here. So when it's time to go, if you want to wave, you can. All right, but I won't be going to the back. If you want somebody to pray with you, and we don't want to forget that's important, then I would suggest if you just stay in your pew. If you're on the inside and somebody needs to get past you, then come out, move appropriate down so they can leave, and then you go back and sit in, and we will mask up, etc., and somebody can come and pray with you. But at the end, if you are leaving, just to avoid, again, even more contact, we're going to ask you if you can leave from the back first. So if you like, the last in will be first out in that way. Leave Matthew. Matthew's obviously slightly different situation because of wheelchair and stuff. But for those, so if you're at one of the back pews, then you'll be invited to go first. And hopefully that all makes sense. So say, thank you for watching this. Hopefully that's been helpful and gives you an idea of what to expect. And just ask God's blessing upon you and take care, and I hope to see you soon. Thank you.